Hello and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Monday, November 17th edition of our video devotionals. We appreciate you being with us today, and I hope your Monday's going well. It is the beginning of the work week and school week, and I can tell you, of course, as I'm recording this, it is much later than normal, but it's been a very, very busy day. Kind of as I explained it, I'll give you a little prayer request if you don't mind. My Aunt Janet, yesterday, she had fallen. I guess it was yesterday morning, had to go to the hospital. Then they had to do surgery on her. She had a broken hip, and she was out of surgery sometime around kind of early evening. And as we finished church, Christy and I went over to the hospital where she was at, and I was able to see her, visit a little bit. And then, of course, this morning I spent about 3 hours there. And so she's just pray for my aunt, if you will, as she's recovering from a fall. So she had hip replacement. So some of you are aware of that, or you have family members and friends that have gone down this path. And so there's the rehabilitation part of it and all of that. So remember her, if you will, my aunt. And then when we got back, I was able to go out with a gentleman of our church who I don't know has ever gone soul winning before, but he went with me. And we had a good day of visiting today. And God's given us some back-to-back Sundays in which, because we've been aggressive trying to reach people in our area, that we've had first-time visitors come. We've had folks that God has brought our way that we did not invite, but they've come out, and I believe because we're trying to reach people. So we've had people we have invited, people we haven't invited, they've come. We've had people to return back, and so a lot of blessings along that way, and we've tried to put in the effort. I think God does bless the effort. But that being said, we are later today just trying to get some things done, and we appreciate you watching, of course. And any comments and all of that. We have a dear lady who watches on a regular basis. She has health concerns, and so remember her if you will, and others. So I know we all have these in our circle of family and friends, but take the time to invest in praying for other people. That's for sure. All right, so we're going to be in Acts chapter 3 today. I guess we'll read verses 12 through 16. The key verses are 12, and actually verse 16, I'm going to read it, give you something here and try to be a blessing and help to you. I may have already said this, but we appreciate everybody who watches the videos each and every time that I see that someone has watched it, made some kind of acknowledgement, or if I don't even see an acknowledgement, but know that you've watched it. We appreciate you very much, and we hope we can continue to do these. All right, notice Acts chapter 3, verse 12. It says, "And when Peter saw it, he answered unto the people, Ye men of Israel, why marvel ye at this? Or why look ye so earnestly on us, as though by our own power or holiness we had made this man to walk?" So here we have the lame man is healed. And the people begin to look, and they're looking at Peter and John. And as they say, you're looking at us. God used us as the human instruments. But I love this. It says this, as though by our own power or holiness, we had made this man to walk. I'm going to go ahead and read down to verse 16. "The God of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob, the God of our fathers, hath glorified his son Jesus, whom ye delivered up and denied him in the presence of Pilate, when he was determined to let him go. But ye denied the Holy One and the just, and desired a murderer to be granted unto you, and killed the Prince of Life, whom God hath raised from the dead, whereof we are witnesses." Last verse. "And his name, through faith in his name, hath made this man strong, whom ye see and know, yea, the faith which is by him hath given him this perfect soundness in the presence of you all." So, of course, they're saying we didn't do it, the Lord did it. And I love the strong language here, and yet it is the truth. He says, you're the ones who you denied him. And in verse 15, "and killed the Prince of Life, whom God hath raised from the dead, whereof we are witnesses." It was the truth being preached to these people. And the truth is important. I had a conversation today with another preacher, and he was talking about, it's one thing to preach hard. It's another thing to preach hard because of truth, and you do it with compassion, knowing that, perhaps the people that hear the strong preaching will turn around and change their ways and be what they're supposed to be. But that's a whole different subject. But I like the fact, going back up to verse 12, it's easy to look on the point where they say, by our own power. But what about also, or holiness? The truth is, it's not by our power. We get that. We don't have the power to heal people. We understand that. And it's certainly not by our own holiness. So when it comes to us reaching out to people and trying to help people, realize it is by his power, but it's also by his holiness. And that doesn't negate the reason that we live a holy life, because we belong to God. We have God's character, and that should shine through us. But the truth is, it's not by our holiness, and it's certainly not by our power. So remember, it is by both God's power and by his holiness. And if we are born again children of God and have that spirit of power and that spirit of holiness, then you know what? God can use us to help people be who they need to be. And certainly the greatest power is that power of witnessing to somebody, so they go from spiritual death to spiritual life. And that's important. That's why we're trying to be involved in that as a church and as a people, and certainly as a pastor. So not by my power, not by my holiness, but by the power of Jesus, by his own holiness. And that's how we're even saved, right? It's not by our own power. We can't save ourselves, and we certainly can't do it by our own holiness. We don't have anything to offer to God, but we have the ability and the opportunity to reach out and first be saved by the power of God and by the holiness of Jesus Christ, our Savior, who indeed died on Calvary, was buried, rose again, so that we can call upon his name and receive not only that power to be saved, but the power to make us holy in the sight of our righteous God. And that's so important. All right, we're going to stop right there today. Hope you have a great, safe, and healthy remaining part of your day. And Lord willing, we'll see you back tomorrow. Thank you for watching.